My audio is really exciting stuff.
So I have a Zoom interview for a job at noon, so I'm like an hour and a half.
Ooh, what is the job?
So do you promise to like bleep it out?
Yeah.
So that, I don't know, I just don't know if like should publicly say the school or whatever.
Oh, so it's for school.
To this podcast that no one listens to.
So it's you could just say it's for a school.
Thing.
Well, I mean, tell me about what the job is.
I mean, it's my job, but there.
I mean, that'd be nice. You'd be closer to your sister. Half sister.
The one that I don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like my grandma, but that's not your grandma.
This person I've never met.
Yeah. Like go be in that area.
Yeah, I'd be closer to tons of people I've never met.
Yeah. I guess that'd be interesting. They'd have cousins.
Anywhere. That's true of anywhere I would move.
Yeah.
In the universe.
Yes, exactly. But you'd be closer to like cousins that are like the same ages. Or like Enzo's cousins. Enzo and Ramona's cousins.
Yeah, like.
You know? I mean, they're like 5 hours away, but like it's closer than like coast to coast.
Is that the distance to San Diego?
Yeah, I think it's like a 5-hour drive.
Okay.
So that's kind of
anyway,
that's nice.
I'm amped.
Amped.
I think it'd be good.
Amped. Yeah. I think I don't see a problem with that.
Have you been there?
I have been there.
What do you think?
It's all right. I mean, I've never been to the campus or anything. But I guess the area is nice. I mean, it's Northern California, so.
I went to a conference there.
Mm-hmm. And did you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really like, that doesn't really tell you what it's like. I mean, that tells you what like the shape of the buildings is, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you're essentially like hanging out with a bunch of people that like are there for the same reason you're there. So they're like from.
Yeah. So they don't know the area either.
That's what I'm getting at, right? So you're hanging out with a bunch of people that not like attached to the area, but I mean, yeah, it was cool. It seemed really cool. I'm really psyched. I know. Do you know? I know a musical artist from there.
Yes.
That I bought their record because I liked it. Hobo Johnson. Do you know this guy?
No.
He's hilarious. You got to check him out.
And he's a musician?
Yeah.
Hobo Johnson?
Yeah. And the Lovemakers. I figure like you would know this stuff. He's like your age.
Is he?
Don't you know everything that is like anyone your age would like?
Not particularly.
Isn't that how?
They have a tiny desk. They have a Tiny Desk concert.
Yeah, that's how I heard of them. I hear about a lot of people from Tiny Desk. That's how I heard about.
Fascinating.
Typhoon.
What kind of music do they do?
Sort of blurs genres. It's kind of like folk hip hop. You should give it a listen.
Yeah, maybe I will. Huh. Fair enough.
Yeah. And then
when do you plan to hear back about the interview?
I don't know. That's like a typical final statement of the interview is like what the timeline is, and you don't know until then.
Oh. How do you have to prep for that?
Well, they gave me the first 4 out of 6 questions that they're asking.
Oh.
So I made answers to those.
What are the questions and what are your answers?
Are we doing this?
Yeah. Think of it as practice.
Please choose a topic that you particularly enjoy teaching. What is your approach to teaching this topic? Question 1. Okay, one of my favorite topics to teach is modeling in the setting of a differential equations class. Just after the class has built some familiarity with the basics of solving differential equations, we spend a day in class collecting data as we create a fictional zombie outbreak. In parallel, we create our first model of this outbreak using the logistics differential equation. This project comes at an excellent time in the class. Everyone has been getting to know each other during our daily in-class collaborative problem-solving sessions, and as such, the students have been primed to work together on this more open-ended exercise. Then, near the end of the course, we revisit this project and explore the outbreak using the SIR model. At this point, the fatigue of the term has settled in, and everyone is energized by the break from new material and the opportunity to work on something a bit more creative. What do you think?
Yeah.
Does that seem good?
Yeah.
Seems good? No notes?
Well, I don't really know what the content of it is. So, like.
Okay. Question the second. You ready for question the second?
Question the second. Yes.
Yeah. How would you describe your research to a senior math major in a hallway conversation?
Wow.
I would say, generally, I start such a conversation by talking about symmetry and how it seems to naturally arise. Most animals are bilaterally symmetric. Flowers have the same symmetries as squares, hexagons, or some other polygons. We are also drawn to symmetric art and architecture to the point that any small break in symmetry is very noticeable. In fact, throughout math classes, we study symmetry in one way or another. In calculus, we look at even and odd functions. In number theory, there's like a nice symmetric visualization of Fermat's theorem. And in abstract algebra, we study cyclic and dihedral groups. Well, it turns out that there are symmetric substructures to these very complicated objects known as vertex operator algebras. And that's what I've been spending my time studying for the past few years. The great thing is that studying these symmetries allows us to find new examples of these objects and uncover isomorphisms between algebras which seemed unrelated. What are your notes?
Okay. So that one, like,
you're not a senior math major, so.
I'm not a senior math major. I'm definitely not a senior math major. But I like
flowers and stuff.
Yeah, I like how it gradually got
you're
more.
A girl, you like flowers.
You're gonna get canceled for that. You're gonna get canceled for that. No, I think it was gradual, so it became relatable to more like specified, which is nice. But I would say, like, is it symmetry or is it like?
Yes.
It is symmetry.
Okay. Or what?
Take it. Or like aesthetic.
No, it's symmetry.
I feel like you could drop the word aesthetic in there. Like things that are like pleasing to us in real life can relate to numbers being
it's the symmetry.
Pleasing. Yeah, I'm just saying you could also add the word an aesthetic in there.
That's not part of it, dude.
Yeah, but like
I mean, what I'm talking about is like how this thing is symmetric. You can like fold it like this and it lands on top of each other. That's the symmetry. Or you can like rotate it like this and it looks the same.
What if you twist it though?
Yeah, well, it's not symmetric like that. You know, it's symmetric in some ways, but not other ways.
All right. Are you gonna read like that piece of paper like when you're in the interview?
Why?
Or are you gonna memorize it?
Too forced. I mean, they gave me the questions.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be like reading a script when you get in there.
Well, you know, it's gonna be more natural the second time I do it. Like,
I think you should. I don't think you should look at the piece of paper.
What are you talking about?
Because, like, how would you explain, especially with that question, right? Like, how would you explain, what was it, like, to a math major in the hallway in a hallway conversation?
My research.
Your research? Okay?
Uh-huh.
Like a hallway conversation, you're not going to be reading a script. You asked for notes.
That's right. But I mean, that's essentially what I say to like people in the hallway. I've done this conversation like 100 times.
Yeah, so you'll be sweet. I'm just saying, don't read it off a piece of paper.
Okay.
Yeah?
Um,
Is that not a fair note?
no, it is. It is. I get you.
Yeah. Particularly with that question.
Yeah. Okay.
And you should try to do that with the other ones too.
Okay. How can you tell I'm reading it?
Because
you use different words when you're reading things. I get
exactly.
You don't
And
need
like
to
the
answer that
punctuation, it's not like it's clearly like written like a paragraph. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No. The timbre, is that the right word?
Or whatever it is, like the
rhythm of like. Yeah, I don't need to say that anymore.
That's like how you read out loud an essay to yourself, you know, to make sure it
I
makes
get it.
sense. But this is not an essay.
You're not an essay. Okay, so faculty are expected to engage with or provide service to the community both inside and outside the university. Please share your prior experience in these areas. And then I say, okay, I'll break my service experience down into 3 categories. First, to the local community, I've done a bunch of things. I've taught a few sessions at a training program for elementary and middle school teachers. I taught at a 6-week residential summer program for high school students. I've led activities at a local science festival, and I'm currently organizing a math festival for local high school students. To my current institution and maybe the profession as a whole, I have chaired the International and Off-Campus Programs Committee during a year that we added a flagship program with the Queen's University Belfast. Shout out to Grace. That's actually
Shout
true.
out to
We've got
Grace.
students there right now. You should meet them. They'd be
Yeah.
like, whoa, this person's related to Michael Penn.
That's crazy.
She's way cooler than he is.
They're related?
I've been, for the past 2 years, I've been serving on I've served on the college's internal grant awarding committee, and I've been serving on the college's tenure and promotion committee. I've also organized a half a dozen AMS special sessions and workshops.
What's AMS mean?
American Mathematical Society. Everyone in the room will know that.
Okay, I was just curious.
No. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. But just to put you at ease, everyone knows what that is, right?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. That'd be like saying the U.S. for the United States, but in the United States.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's going to know what that is.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
And then like to sort of the broader humanity, I have these big YouTube channels with 45 million total views and about 2 million unique viewers per year. My aim is to make mathematics accessible for everyone. In the future, I like the idea of employing students at my local institution and giving them the opportunity to learn some extra math and a bit about the new media landscape.
Cool.
Okay, so what are your notes?
I think wait, rephrase what's the question again?
Faculty are expected to engage with or provide service to the community both inside and outside the university. Please share your prior experience in these areas.
You could give like a little anecdote of like those first few that you were like listing. Like a little anecdote of like you working with like kids or something. Or like one of those ones. Give like a little anecdote of like what exactly it was you taught or like helped them with.
Yeah. So
and
like
what was the effect from that
I
help?
taught at a 6-week residential program for high school students.
What did you teach them?
I taught them a course on cryptography.
And what was that of value to them? Like what did they gain from that besides
They
learning
learned
about
cryptography.
Yeah, but what's the value of cryptography?
What do you mean? Like
What the fuck is cryptography?
it's like codes and stuff. It's how the internet works.
So you should say like, oh, like,
I mean, everyone knows what
relevant to this
cryptography
new
is. That's like the U.S.
It's like the US. Okay. So explain how like, oh,
And
like,
then,
wait,
I
ah,
mean, you cut me
shut
off. I
up.
was gonna say something else.
Okay, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, and like I had the opportunity is not the right word, but I had the pleasure to write letters of recommendation for several of them, and like now they're at nice universities.
Yeah, you can say that, and you can also say like, oh, like it's relevant for them because this new age of technology and young kids going into the work, like some bullshit like that, you know?
Yeah, or they got to learn a subject that you generally don't learn as a high school student.
Yeah, but that's also like meaningful in this new digital age. It's not useless. Like you're not teaching them this like crazy theory about calculus that like that's not applicable, you know?
That's too close to like you uh, philosophically for me, Grace.
Yeah.
That's too close to like something not being important because it doesn't have immediate application.
Yes, but what I'm
Which
saying
is
is that
lame.
to sell yourself,
They're not.
kind
They're
of help
gonna,
you out.
yeah. Okay.
Just be like, yeah, like help some kids learn how to code and like understand what like the functions and all that are so that they can apply themselves into expanding and advancing our age of technology. Even so,
Yeah.
they've
Sure.
applied to schools and I've given them recommendations for their stellar work and what I've taught them. Just saying
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. 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 No, that
Just
sounds
like
good.
beef it up, you know?
Yeah.
You want notes, but I don't think you like
No,
my
I do
notes.
want notes. I do want notes. That yeah. That's
You just
that
don't wanna
seems. I
take
mean, I
them.
took some of them.
I've only given a few. I feel like that's a great note.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I'm just. Yeah. I'm surly.
Okay, what's the next one?
Okay. Fourth and last. Name of school has an extremely diverse student body. In what ways have diversity, equity, and inclusion been a part of your work? Okay. So, Randolph College students have more economic diversity compared to any other school that I've ever been at. And upon arriving, I realized pretty quickly that I would have to change my teaching style for these students to thrive in mathematics classes. I place a heavy focus at the beginning of each term on creating a welcoming environment where all students feel comfortable to be their authentic selves. This is done with small group problem solving and full class discussions of what can be done to make our classroom activities equitable for everyone, regardless of their background and level of pre-college preparation. Also, I'm not afraid to disarm myself with personal anecdotes like the time, like, wait, with my personal stories of first seeing algebra when my mom brought me to the college algebra class she was taking because she couldn't find childcare for a day.
Okay.
How does that seem?
Yeah.
Seems okay?
Yeah.
I like the personal story at the end, right?
Yeah, I think the personal story was good.
Personalizes me. Sandra was like, I don't know, maybe you don't need the personal story. I was like, what do I have if I don't have stuff like that?
Yeah. I think cuz that's the
You know?
main way
I
I
could
feel like
very easily be pegged as just some dude who had it all the time, right? Which is not, it's not the truth, right?
yeah.
But
And
like,
you can
I kind of present as that sometimes.
yeah, and it's a way to like connect with the students, you know. And I
Yeah.
think disarming is a
I had another
way to put it.
sentence where I talked about failing calculus too.
yeah, why isn't that in there?
I don't know. Sandra told me to take it out. Should I put it back in? I'll put it back
I
in.
think you should
I'll be a
put
rebel.
it back in because it makes you exactly be relatable, you know. Say like you've struggled yourself
Yeah.
and you know it's hard yourself, so you're not afraid to let that impact the way that you relate to students.
Yeah.
Because it's not about being the best in the class; it's about being able to understand the material, however that means to get there. That's a good
Yeah.
sentence. Add that in there. Are you gonna add in what I just said there? That was good.
Yeah. I just added it.
What I just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So what do you think? Then there's two other how about that gap in my language because I can't think of the words. Then there's two other questions that are surprises.
Yeah. Do you have any idea of what they'll be on?
No. Do you?
No. I don't know.
And then
I don't
I've
think
got like my own questions. Like,
Do you have questions for them?
yeah. Do you want to hear those?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about what name of school math majors tend to do after graduation. Kind of gives you an idea of like what the department focuses on with their students or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What's the relationship between the department / the university and the community as a whole? Are there funding opportunities to do summer research projects with students? And one more, but my iPad's upstairs.
Would it be out of pocket for you to ask them, like, what are you guys looking for in this position?
I don't know. I've never done that.
That'd be interesting to
Yeah,
see
like
what they're like.
What's your
What is
ideal
a value of you? Yeah, yeah. What is like of most value? Like,
That's a good.
what?
Grace, you're so smart.
Thank you. Thank you. I try. No, like, be like, what is like the most valuable characteristic you need in like a staff, you know?
Faculty.
Like, is it their ability to relate with students or?
Yeah, but not give them answers like.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But
should I
like,
give
be
them
a,
answers like that? Like start to go into that, or should I just like cut it off? Like, what's the most?
I don't know. Because what would you say? You'd have to have like two things. Be like, oh, is it like, what do you guys value more? Like teacher-student relationships or success rate?
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, but also like they'd probably say success rate because like, oh, student teacher relationships. Like if you're just fucking around with the kids and they love you because you don't teach them anything, like, yeah. But like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like one can breed the other, right?
yeah,
If you have a shit relationship with your class, like they're not gonna bleed for you.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
like, I mean, I'm pretty good at like getting a pretty bonded class,
yeah.
right? And I can tell like that they work harder because of it.
Yeah. And do you know like how big the university is? Like how big the class size? You should ask them how big the class sizes are.
What if I kind of know that?
What
I
what
guess
are
I
the class
shouldn't know that
sizes?
though. Like some of this stuff I know because it's easy to find. Like what what are the most important qualities that you're looking for the person who will fill this position? What qualities will you value most?
Yeah. As a person as for the person to fill this position to have or something. That's not like grammatically correct, but you know what I'm saying. And you could also say too, like, oh, I don't know if it's like weird, but you could be like, I've done some research and I've noticed that your class sizes are X, and I feel like I'd be a great spot for that because one of my personal strengths is like being able to get a good like ambiance in the room with classes or whatever.
Yeah.
Some bullshit like that. Like how
Okay,
you
so
never
I
answered
guess
my
I know
question.
so I know a guy there, right?
Yeah.
Name redacted.
Name
Um,
redacted.
and I've like just talked. I mean, before this was posted or anything, just like at conferences and stuff, I've talked to him about what it's like being there. That's how I know the class sizes.
How big are the class sizes?
It's like maximum 30.
You know what you can do? Don't say anything about you knowing it. Just be like, "Oh, one of my strengths," because they won't know that you know this information, right?
Is teaching classes to exactly 30 people?
Well, not exactly 30 people,
You
but
guys
like
won't
say
even
like your
believe
strength,
how perfect 30 people is.
like something like that, but be like, "I work best in groups between like 40 and 25." You know? Do some bullshit like that.
It's like not true though. I like a dozen. Like it does.
Okay, well then. Well, you have to make it work.
I don't know, I've got these other questions. I'm not sure the class size question is like really as strong as the others. No, I'm not like getting
No, it's
on to
okay.
you, right? This
No,
is
yeah.
supposed to be yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what was the
I'd
other
say-
one? I
I'd
feel
say
like
so.
you had another one.
Something about class sizes. Like a question for them?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. No, I think that was it.
Okay. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Right?
You just got to really like play your strong cards,
Yeah, like
you know?
King of Spades.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, like are you going to plug that you do YouTube videos?
Yeah, remember I did that in the service part. They know that
Very
too.
briefly. Oh, okay.
The thing is they know that because it's in my application material.
Yeah.
And I mean, just given that they're math professors, they know that.
Oh, okay.
Like yeah. Like if you're in math of a certain age, you're going to have come across one of my videos.
Yeah. Do you think the 2 questions after are going to be like personalized? Like they don't actually have them pre-written down. They're going to be questions that are like based on what
maybe.
you've said in the.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. So like,
Because they could be like, how does YouTube impact your ability to keep a steady workload?
yeah. So, yeah, and I know how to answer that. Like I front load everything. Like I do
Front
a lot
load.
of stuff ahead of time, and I
Like what?
delegate work.
Okay, that was a very basic answer.
But that's how it is. Like it's like a business.
But like front load, you have to be specific. Front load what?
Yeah, so I'll like record a bunch of videos like over breaks and stuff.
So
and
say
I'll have
that.
And I'll have a back
Say that.
catalog. Okay.
Say that. You have to say that. Because you say,
Okay,
oh,
if
you
that-
front load, but like front load when?
So if this were like a very, very small school, like a small liberal arts college, I would say that the remaining 2 questions would be personalized. But I think like bigger state schools like this,
Big stater schools.
Yeah, often have like rules, and the questions have like gone through committees and stuff, and they can't be changed, which is fine. I mean,
okay. That's fine.
both ways are reasonable, and both ways have their place.
Yeah.
So
What
it's
if they
a bit
ask you what
unclear to
your
me.
weakness is? What's your weakness? What's your least strength?
What's my
that
least
doesn't make
strength?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What's your weakest trait?
I don't know. Taking on too much and letting it slip sometimes.
Don't say that.
Yeah, there's like
Don't
no good
say
answer, right? Because anything that you answer with that, like,
Yeah, but make your weakness a strength.
yeah, okay. I work too hard.
Be like you're
I'm pretty good at like efficiently getting things done so I don't burn out. Or I'm good at getting things done so I
That's phrased like a strength, though.
have time for myself and,
You could say my weakness is that you maybe care too much for students. And if they understand the material.
yeah. That's good. That's true too.
Yeah, I know. Write it down. I'm going to come to you for help on an application, and you better be as helpful as I'm being.
How about being being too attached to student success?
Yeah.
Being too personally attached to student success.
Don't say personally attached, because that sounds like you canoodle with them on the side. Cool. I think you're going to do great.
Do you think it's only half an hour?
Throw a smile every now and again, Like, smile, be personable.
I don't have a good smile.
That's not what it's about. It's about showing personality. If you seem boring, your interview is going to be boring. You got to stand out.
Did you just call me boring?
No. You just got to act like you're interesting, I mean, you are interesting. But like, it has to, you have to no, you know what I mean? You have to like front load it. If that makes sense. Like you gotta, you got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So you have to make yourself, it's like a performance,
Yeah.
Got to make things obvious. You don't want to have them like searching to find out who you are as a person. You got to show them who you are.
It's not subtlety.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no room for subtlety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
but
it.
Maintain good manners. Well, I think you're going to do great. This is very exciting.
Yeah, I think it should be fine. Oh, I don't know. Do we do an outro? Like, what's the situation?
What's the situation? I don't know. We haven't done I don't even know if
We're
did an
done.
outro.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
I like the abrupt stop to some of
We've
them.
got a goal of 1 million subscribers by the end of next week.
Yeah, that's.
I think we can hit it if you subscribe.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. All right. Well, thank you for watching the podcast.
You're welcome.